Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. This is a video that Tucker Carlson put out on Twitter. His announcement, not a lot of details, but he's going to be partnering with Twitter, i.e. Elon Musk, to produce a show on Twitter. And I think this is unbelievably great news. The mainstream media is in its death throes. And I think Tucker knows it, of course, more than anyone who's in the eye of the storm. And it's a 3-minute video. It's quick, but he gives the reasoning, what's going on in the mainstream media, and an announcement that he's going to be partnering with Twitter and i.e. Elon Musk. We're going to have to see how it works out for him legally. I'm not sure under what legal obligation he's under concerning his contract with Fox. There was speculation he might go to Newsmax, and there was speculation that he might go Rumble, and the speculation, I believe, was offered $100 million from Newsmax. I'm glad he stayed independent. Maybe he'll have his own show on Twitter. I'm not sure how he's going to earn a living from that, but I'm sure he's got it all worked out. He's a smart guy, and he's got a lot of smart people around him. So let's listen to Tucker's announcement, and I'll make a quick comment at the end.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess. It's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news. You talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon. Hey,
And there it is. There's a short announcement he put out on Twitter, and now, of course, it's all over the place. I'm excited. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. He goes to Spotify and does interviews like Joe Rogan. He might be the new Joe Rogan or as big as Joe Rogan. We're talking about basically unfiltered free speech. I mean, you can't say anything you want to. You can't slander people, but how he's going to put together a production team. They have the same resources that he had at Fox. I'm not sure, but these guys are all pros. And what's good I hear about Tucker is he hires the most competent people. So I think it's going to be great. It's going to be, to quote Donald Trump, it's going to be huge, huge. And we'll see. Maybe his first guest will be Trump. But I think it all started with the January 6th video that he put out. And I think that was the beginning of the end for Tucker on Fox. Was it the beginning of the end for telling the whole truth? Looks like not. It looks like not. As much as the mainstream media has a stranglehold on everything, from the internet, social media, through cable news, the internet also allows things like this, like Tucker, Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson. None of these guys would have ever got any airtime except for the internet. So the internet's a great tool for disinformation and not telling the whole truth. And it's also a great tool for letting the truth come through. So I'm really excited. Tell me what you think. Leave it in the comments. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.